When you think of cloud storage, you probably think of Google or DropBox. But if you stick with me to the end of this video, I'm going to prove to you that the 3 cloud storage providers in our title can outperform any of these big 3, despite being owned by much smaller companies. I'm Jason with the Cyber Lab, and today we'll witness the smackdown of pCloud versus Sync versus IceDrive versus the big 3, meaning OneDrive, DropBox, and Google Drive, in our first annual Cloudlympic Games. This was decided to be a compromise after the writers and editors of our team got into a cage match over how many wrestling references you could include in one versus video. The answer? At least one. Much like our other videos, we're going to be looking at 5 familiar areas of importance, which will be our 5 Olympic events: pricing, features, security, privacy, ease of use. You can also find some sweet limited time discounts in our video's description below. So let's get started with our first event: pricing. Ding ding. Now, pricing changes a bit depending on what you prioritize, but value is crucial. So our top points will go to any provider offering a lifetime plan. To find out more about whether a lifetime plan is right for you, hey, you can click here. The only 2 competitors on our list that offer this sort of plan are pCloud and IceDrive, granting them an immediate 5 out of 5 on pricing. You might call them the Ian Miller of cloud storage, who holds the record as the athlete with the most Olympic appearances.
Boo! You made me learn something!
Moving on, Google Drive gets our 2nd place trophy, getting a 4 out of 5 for reasonable pricing. OneDrive gets our 3rd place trophy, 3 out of 5, mainly for being similar to Google but slightly more expensive. Sync is next in the lineup, 2 out of 5, struggling with entry-level pricing despite offering good value. DropBox, hey, they just get a participation award, 1 out of 5 for showing up. And hey, they tried their best. Check out our table, simplifying the pricing options. Remember that most companies don't offer lifetime plans because they fear losing your money after some years. Now let's move on to our next event: features. Now features sort of fall into one of 2 areas. First, you've got the fundamentals. It's sort of like throwing a punch while you box using your fist, not your foot. I'm pretty sure they would call that move a foot punch. In this case, the features they all share include file sharing features that enable you to share with friends or family, functionality across all major platforms, including Windows, Android, Mac, and Apple, and automatic backups. Whether or not they are good at these things, it depends on the system. Let's start with pCloud, which offers unlimited upload and download speeds and the ability to back up files from other major cloud storage providers like DropBox, Google, and OneDrive. But personally, for me, this feature feels a bit like this. Do you get it? It might be like the document integration you get with Google, but replaces it with a helpful media player that lets you build music or video playlists. It also has a browser extension to save images directly from the web to your cloud storage. So pCloud has some amazing features, easily worth a 5 out of 5. Sync goes hard in the opposite direction, focusing on its Google Docs, Microsoft Office, and Adobe Creative Suite integration. It might not have a media player, but it works more for those who need collaborative features. So Sync gets a 5 out of 5, but for a different reason. IceDrive seems to have gone in the completely opposite direction, making people wonder where all the features went. It has sharing and unlimited speed, but limited collaboration features and no media player. Thankfully, it does make up for this by being fast, giving it a 3 out of 5. Google Drive does 1/3 of what Sync does, meaning it works with its own document creation platform. But since you don't need to pay for Google Docs or Sheets, well, it's technically not much of a feature. Google is fast and it works well, but the Windows app is known for automatic backup issues, sometimes just deciding not to sync. So Google gets 3 out of 5. OneDrive also gets the same 3 out of 5, mainly because it gains a point for having a few extra programs like a simple video editor, but it loses the point for being awful on Mac devices. Finally, Dropbox. Hey, they also get a 5 out of 5. Dropbox has all of the document collaboration features of Google and the media playing features of pDrive. It also has a few other optional features that are great for our digital world. This includes e-signing features, an app center for business integrations and collaboration, and a large file sender. There is a lot available from Dropbox, but let us know what features are most important to you when shopping for cloud storage in the comments. Now, you might think that Dropbox is determined to make up that faceplant in the previous section with a solid performance. Let's find out how they fare in the next event, Security. I'm getting a live feed from the Dropbox security event. It seems that they fall down and go boom. Well, I guess that means they get 1 out of 5 on security because they fell down. 68 million user passwords fell out of their pockets. What? It's hard to believe we're getting a live feed of it now, even though it happened years ago. Don't forget to like this video to help Dropbox recover from this absolute failure. If we get 2,000 likes, Dropbox might heal in time for the next event. It's 2,000 likes. Thankfully, all of our others have fared much better in this event. First, neither Google nor OneDrive is known for having any major leaks. Being major tech companies, they very likely own their own data centers and keep up with security. OneDrive is particularly supported by Microsoft Defender, which gets decent reviews on AV-Test. So, Google and OneDrive get a 4 out of 5, losing points because they lack transparency in the security practices. The remaining 3, IceDrive, pCloud, and Sync, they actually get a 5 out of 5 on their security. And this is because they are transparent on their security practices, leveraging AES 256 end-to-end encryption on the client and server side. This means that the data is secured while it's on your computer, when it's in the cloud, and when it's in transit. The encryption level is the same technology used by VPNs, or virtual private networks, to hide connection and traffic logs from government entities. Simply put, it's military-grade encryption. One problem. pCloud requires you to pay extra for this in a service called pCloud Crypto. Thankfully, it's not too expensive, and you can include it with your lifetime plan for an extra $150. And this extra feature brings us to our next area of importance. Wow, rude. Anyway, military-grade encryption means a couple of different things. First, outsiders can't access your data without breaking the impossible encryption. But good encryption also works from the inside, meaning that members of the company you paid to protect your data also can't access your data. At the Cyber Lab, we heavily believe in the importance of privacy. So if you want to see more privacy-focused videos, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It lets us know that we're focusing on the right topics. But back to our current topic, what does it mean when even the people inside the company can't access your data? This is known as zero-knowledge encryption, which provides you with a private key. And without that private key, neither you nor anyone else can access the data, even the company that owns the service. IceDrive and Sync include this feature as part of their base package, giving them a 5 out of 5 on privacy. But pCloud only gets a 4 out of 5 because you need to pay extra for the secure portal. pCloud says this is for the convenience of its users, offering both unencrypted and encrypted files. After all, if you lose your private key, you lose the data forever. So the company gives you options. Now, with our big 3 companies, those options are taken away. It's like an Olympic skier deciding, you know what would make this downhill event more interesting? Nudity. Google and Microsoft get a whopping 1 out of 5 on privacy. They take your data, they sell it to advertisers to keep the lights on. Also, no zero-knowledge encryption, meaning their employees can access your files, given the right business need. Oh, I'm just getting a report that if you don't subscribe to this video, Satya Nadella, the current Microsoft CEO, will come to your house and eat your social security number. I don't know who writes this stuff. Dropbox gets a 3 out of 5 because they don't sell your data, but they certainly have nothing preventing employees from accessing your information. So, Now that we know how these companies do on the technical side, let's move on to the cloud storage equivalent to our swimsuit competition. Ease of use. Our ease of use section asks if it runs well and is good to look at. It's basically like a dog show obstacle course. The prettiest dogs at our party include DropBox, pCloud, and IceDrive. All three are known for having solid mobile, desktop, and web app platforms. Most of DropBox investment has gone into creating a solid platform. The interface is particularly useful for its web application, which includes easy access to all its features from one area. The desktop app is similar to OneDrive's, with a bit more polish and a built-in search function. And the mobile app is also clean, integrating with an image scanning PDF creator called Paper. Now, if only Dropbox spent some of that money securing their things, hey, then they might be worth it. pCloud has less to work with, so it has a simpler interface. The web app makes it easy to navigate between different usage reasons, like audio, bookmarks, or shared files. The desktop app looks a bit dated initially, but is as powerful as the web app. You can even select your preferred backup folders, making it easy to control what you want to be backed up and what you don't. The mobile app is also pretty simple, but doesn't offer advanced features. By comparison, IceDrive offers a minimalist interface, and this makes it easy to navigate wherever you need to go, even offering the encrypted folder with a single click on the web app. You'll also find the folder on your mobile app under Secure. This offers a similar minimalist interface. The desktop app offers more control, enabling you to control how often syncing occurs and what folders you want to add. So, all three get a solid 5 out of 5. OneDrive is the next greatest option, working best across desktop and web app platforms. It struggles with its mobile interface, looking a bit basic and taking more time to set up. Regardless, OneDrive never gets overly difficult to use. It's just not as good as the other ones on this list. So OneDrive gets a 4 out of 5. Finally, Sync and Google Drive share a tied score of 3 out of 5. Google works best on Android phones, but the Drive application is a cluttered mess if you don't take the time to organize your files. The desktop app also isn't much to write home about, but it does have Google's incredibly useful search engine and isn't too challenging to get used to. Finally, Sync feels like going back in time a bit. The web app looks dated, but is fairly easy to use. But the desktop app is my worst. Requiring a right click to open and being a bit more picky with your mouse position, causing it to close randomly. The mobile app looks pretty similar to what you get from IceDrive. So, now that we know more about how pretty these cloud storage providers are, let's visit with our judges. So based on our findings, our Cloudlympian is pCloud, mainly because it offers some great features, excellent security, and is easy to use. And hey, if you want to get up to 80% of the amazing cloud storage services we've mentioned, check out our video's description for a special limited time link. So, a gold medal to pCloud, a silver medal to IceDrive, and a bronze medal to Sync. The remaining 3 cloud storage providers receive a participation award and some parental disappointment. If you want to see our best cloud storage providers, click this video in the description. We hope that you've enjoyed our review of cloud-based athletics, and we look forward to seeing you in that next video. Bye-bye for now.